I wish more parks did something like this. Slagharen, a small amusement park in the Netherlands, just released 3 potential roller coaster concepts and is asking for feedback to figure out which one they should build. They're looking for a family inverted coaster and have pitches from 3 different manufacturers: Vekoma, Premier, and Gerstlauer. What makes this so interesting is each one of these concepts has a unique feature. So you're not just picking the manufacturer, you're picking the style. And Slagharen wants to clarify that these layouts absolutely can change. These are not final designs, but it gives us enthusiasts really an inside look into the process of making a roller coaster. And the fact is that this sort of stuff happens all the time. Parks get pitches from different companies, evaluate all options, and then decide which one to go with. Slagharen just decided to make theirs public, and I love it. It's very reminiscent of what Energylandia did several years ago with Hyperion. There was an Intamin and Vekoma concept, and obviously the Intamin one ended up winning. But let's talk about these concepts. First, I want to give credit to Loopings. They're a Dutch site that released this video. They're the ones that kind of broke the news about this. And if you're unfamiliar with this park, they're only home to 2 roller coasters, Gold Rush and Mine Train. Mine Train is a Vekoma Junior coaster, and Gold Rush is a Gerstlauer Infinity coaster. And the attraction is set to go behind the Ferris wheel just off of the main midway. You can see here this plot of land where they're planning on taking advantage of it. Slagharen isn't very big. It's essentially one long midway, and the sky ride goes from one end to the other. You have Gold Rush at one end, the Mine Train at the other, and this is going to go in the center. So let's highlight these 3 concepts a little bit. First, we'll start with the Vekoma. The unique feature on this is that it launches straight out of the station. You go through a short section of layout, some mild twists and turns, and then enter a lift hill, where you then go through the second half of the ride. And I would say of the 3, this one looks to be the most tame. However, it is by far going to be the most reliable because it is proven technology. Vekoma has pretty much perfected their family inverted coaster. There's now plenty of these around the world. The only part of this that is anything different than what Vekoma has done is the fact that it's a launch, which I imagine it's either going to be a tire driven launch or LSMs, both of which aren't really anything new, but you can physically go out there and ride a ride that outside of the launch is going to feel pretty similar to what this would. So this is absolutely the safe choice. That being said, I do think it probably looks the least exciting, at least compared to the other 2. Now, the Premier is probably the weirdest, but it's also the riskiest. Think of the last time Premier did an inverted coaster. Oh yeah, they haven't. Premier almost exclusively uses launches. There's only one other roller coaster they've ever built that has a lift hill, and that's Runaway Mountain at Six Flags Over Texas. And this one has 2, and it's a shuttle coaster. And frankly, I'm shocked that Premier is one of the companies that they're considering using for this. This doesn't look, and it's probably not going to feel like a Premier either. I'm also fascinated to know what sort of train design they're going to go for, because currently in this animation, it looks like they're using a stock SLC train, but I am sure that the final product, if they went with this design, would not look like SLC restraints. It's just because the restraints that they'd probably use don't currently exist. Although I'm sure Premier would still find a way to somehow use comfort collars on them. This layout looks pretty fun. They've incorporated some trenches, some high banking turns. It's pretty compact. You go backwards first and then forwards. Definitely looks more exciting. I just am really skeptical of this design. It only allows for 1 train. I know Slagharen doesn't get huge crowds per se, but I think this one definitely has its pros and cons. One of the other cons being Gold Rush already goes backwards. Because they only have 2 other roller coasters, personally, I don't think it would be wise to have their 3rd also go backwards. I think in order to keep variety, they should go with something different. Now, the Gerstlauer one is definitely the craziest, and frankly walks the line of I'm not even sure this is a family coaster at all. The ride starts with a vertical lift hill, which first of all, a vertical lift hill on an invert, that's weird. We've definitely never seen that before. We have a fairly steep drop here, not quite vertical, but goes into a tunnel. Almost an inversion, but not quite. None of these models actually go upside down. I imagine that was one of the stipulations that Slagharen came out with. This model goes into almost like a wave turn, back into a tunnel, another high banking turn, low to the ground twists, another tunnel, and then the brakes. I imagine that it probably would be possible for this model to run with more than 1 train. I would also hope so, because this train can only hold 12 passengers. So if it only had 1 train, throughput would be pretty low. But those are the 3 concepts. Like I said, they all have their pros and cons. And once they choose a manufacturer, I wouldn't bank on their layout being exactly the same as it shows up here. They likely rework some things. They're just trying to get a feel of what style of invert they should go with. So I say post your comments below. Let Slagharen far know which version you think they should go with. Do they choose to go a little crazier with the Gerstlauer, something a little different that we haven't really seen them do before? Do they go with Premiere, something that is just completely different? Or do you choose the safe option, something that might not be as thrilling, but is guaranteed to be pleasing? I don't know, but either way, I think it's very exciting that something like this would be coming to this park. If they're doing research right now, I wouldn't expect it until maybe 2024. Unless they acted quick and were able to get it up for 2023, which, I mean, is also possible. Just depends on how much more research and time they have to put in this project. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to stay tuned for more here at Coaster Studios, and we'll see you next time.